To all my black entrepreneurs, we gotta do better, y'all. So tune in to the EntrepreNUBIANS Podcast, where we help build better black businesses.
Hey. Welcome back to the EntrepreNUBIANS Podcast. I'm your girl, Tiffany Nicole, and that is Laz Trace.
What up, y'all?
And we are here with I was going to say Mr., but the three Will Times. And it is Trace's favorite segment, Ninja Business.
Already know.
Talk about
ninjas. Let's go, ninjas. We got Will Smith.
We go to Will Smith with the Ninja Business.
I might be the second most popular Will in
That was
Philly.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I'll take it.
Right.
See, that's a perfect example of ninja business. Me not being on point. But anyway, we got Will Times here from Rec Philly. And I need to know some ninja business that you've done and some that you've suffered from. This is my favorite segment. So give us... Because you all the way on point right now. But I know you've done some ninja business somewhere. You have to. We all have to.
So, all right. First, I'll call out some of my like pet peeves. You know what I mean? The things that I think are just way too common. You know what I mean? Especially amongst us as black entrepreneurs.
Oh, right? Please. Where's my pen at?
and look, and I'm going to just say this, right? Like, unfortunately, the narrative is like, if I want to support something black owned, that the quality has to suffer. Right? And that shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't be that way.
You know what I mean?
It should not be that way.
At all.
It shouldn't.
Right?
Well, you shouldn't expect that to be the problem that you have.
Right.
Like, I'm going to pay $50. Okay, but something probably going to be wrong with it. Like, did you
Right.
just... Because it always happens.
Yeah.
And there's always some hesitation when you're going to do, when you're making the decision to decide to deal with a black business.
Right.
There's always some hesitation.
Right? or it's like, oh, all right, cool, it's black owned. Let me get that discount.
Oh, that's the
like,
one.
You know,
that's the one.
That one gets to me a lot.
That's
and it's
the
just
one.
like, come on, y'all. Like, y'all should be willing to overpay. You know what I mean?
Because you don't walk into Target and ask Target for, hey, is the manager here? I need a discount.
Right.
Exactly.
Never.
Because whatever. Like, no.
Yeah.
I'm black. I'm struggling with this business. Help me. Don't take from me.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't grow my business if I'm giving all of my customers discounts. My customers in the beginning are the people that I know.
100%. So I'll say a couple things. The biggest things that bother me when it comes to ninja business are the things that actually don't require like a high level of talent, right? So for me, that first one is punctuality.
Yeah,
that's the one.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's deep because culturally, right? You know, we didn't grow up with CP time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
We gave it a name. That's how bad it is. We gave it a name. Like,
so that one gets to me because it's like, it does not take talent to be on time.
No.
You know? But at the same time, as I navigate the business world and I take high-level meetings, it just means so much. And here's why. It's like, we don't want to always think about it this way, but like, my grandmother says this all the time since I was a kid. How you do something is how you do everything.
Very
right?
true.
So if literally we're having an intro meeting, right? We don't even know each other, and you show up 10 minutes late, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So there must have been some critical thinking that wasn't done, because then you didn't, you know what I mean, just do what you had to do to get your ducks in a row to get here, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And then, you know, we love to jump to the excuses. Oh, well, it was traffic, it was this, it was that.
But we know that. We know 76 is going to have traffic every day, no matter what time of day it is. By Girard Avenue, it's going to be traffic.
Straight up.
Period.
Right? So there's that. And then the one thing that I get bothered by even bigger than you being late is then the excuses after. Because just like you said, it's like, today wasn't the first day there was traffic outside.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Every day, all the time.
So that, I think that's the biggest red flag. It's a lack of accountability. You know what I mean? Of just like, all right, I was late, I'm gonna own that. My second thing is the other one that I think is most popular when we think about ninja business, which is just customer service. You know, there's this like, I hate going to any establishment, but especially a black-owned establishment, and then you feel like what you ask for is an inconvenience to the person that's giving it to you.
That's me. Like you walk to McDonald's and ask for a Whopper. That's not what happened.
It's like,
that's not what happened.
That's why Chick-fil-A is the greatest.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. It's so simple. It's like, yes, that's my thing.
And the lesson under that, right? Because I'd like to make this as teachable of a moment as possible. The lesson, like for me, the reason why I like to go to Chick-fil-A over like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or any of these other ones is because I know how I'm gonna feel walking out of there.
Yes.
Right.
And what people don't realize is like, yes, I went there for a chicken sandwich, but really what people go to a business for is a certain feeling.
Yes.
You know?
Experience.
Right. It's the experience.
You get a whole experience with Chick-fil-A.
You feel like they respect you. They respect your money. They respect the time that you spent waiting in line.
Yes. I'll wait in that long line because I know I'm going to feel once I get to the counter.
You got a very consistent product. The chicken sandwich I got today is going to be just like the chicken sandwich I got the other day. But if I go to the McDonald's, and I'm not going to shout out certain ones, but if I go to the one in a certain part of the town, it's like, I hope they in a good mood today, because if not, I'm
gonna get cold fries, burnt fries. But if I go to this one, I'm gonna get 2 salty fries. But if I go to the one over here in this area that I like, it's perfect every time.
Did we have this conversation? We went to the one with a street called with an O, uptown. I was like, oh no, we're going out Abington next time because I'm going to lose my mind in this one. Like, I don't want to turn to an angry black woman over fries. Over fries. Like,
so those
that's
are my
whole...
Punctuality, customer service. And again, those things don't take a high level of talent to do.
Or skill. Or even effort.
Yeah.
Get some rest. Get up early and get a head start. Don't ever feel like you are too early for something. If you like for instance, I just came back from Cartagena, Colombia with my friends.
Beautiful.
We went on a beautiful vacation.
He left me at home, but it's okay. We'll talk about that later.
That's the next segment.
We'll talk about that later.
But we had my flight didn't leave till 1:30 p.m. and the van to take us to the airport was coming at 9 a.m.
Cool.
And people were like, it's too early. Why are we leaving so early? Because we need to be there way ahead of time.
Right.
And we don't know what long lines we got to stand in. We don't know about the customs line, this line,
never know.
General global entry line. So I just say that to say, always be early. Never be late. Early is always in your favor, even if it's hours and hours and hours early. You got time to sit there and think. You can look at your surroundings. You can. It's so much you can do in that. You can relax. And it's things that you can figure out in that time, where you basically get yourself more prepared for whatever it is you're going to do.
Just like for this podcast, like we do it every Sunday. It's the same thing. We get here at 12:30. We tape at 2. It'll take us an hour and a half to do this, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. So we just have that buffer. Having that buffer is just great.
And it gives you that peace of mind, right? If you was ready for 30 minutes already, it's like, okay, cool, we could chop it up and relax. But if you like, oh man, I'm 3 minutes behind, your energy's not going to be the same.
It's different.
You know?
It's different.
And that goes a long way.
Very much.
All right, so we need some ninja business.
Something
you've done.
that I've done.
I think you're trying to get out of it.
You did.
I'm ready for it. So look, I'll say this. I think for me, one of the things that I've never had an issue with is like being ambitious, right? But the challenge with that is like I've always been willing to put myself at a place of like being stretched. I've always been willing to be like, yo, I may not know this all the way, but like I'm gonna try it. You know what I mean? So with that, I think the ninja business for me has come in where like, hey, I realized I'm moving too fast here. I could have been more prepared, right? But I think that it's a pretty good thing in this regard, because I think more often than not, instead of having that problem, most people are afraid to start. If they don't feel like they understand something all the way, they're afraid to begin. And like I kind of shed this idea of like, yo, I might look crazy because I don't really, this is my first time, but I'm willing to look crazy a little bit. You know what I mean?
You have to be.
But just to share, some of the downsides have been like, you know, and this one I think affects a lot of people. For me, ninja business and lack of preparation came up. I went to a networking event, right? And this was when we first started fundraising. And I was in this event, and there was a gentleman who just was kind of small talking. You know, we chopping it up, talking for maybe like 5 minutes or so. And he really like just wanted to get to know me. But in my mind, I was like, I came here to talk to this person and that person because they were the investors, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm waiting at a corner of my eye. I'm like watching to wait till the moment opened up where I could slide in and introduce myself. And I ended up not getting that moment, you know, because by the time I went to talk to them, they were already like, hey, I got to go. I get home and then I sit down and then I get on Twitter and the investor retweets somebody and says, people don't know that all my deal flow runs through this person. That was the guy who was trying to chop it up with me the whole time.
Wow.
And I call that ninja business because I think too often we have our eyes set on the prize, but then we don't do the real preparation work of like, I should have known everyone in that investor's office and who does
and who
what.
to talk to,
right? So then that way, if I'm in the space, I know my environment well enough that I could really get what I need here. Because it's like sometimes we all want to network up. Right? We like, oh, this person has the resources I need, or this person, you know, is dope and has all the information. But really, we should be networking with everybody next to us, right, etc. And that bit me in the butt because it was just like, literally, he came to me, was ready to have the conversation, and he actually is the person. But because I was enamored by like, oh, well, this person is the one on all the podcasts, and this is the person who like, you know what I mean, be out front.
They're the face, they're the face.
Who you should have been talking to, right?
And that's one thing that we always learn is you can't always go to the face.
Right.
Figure out who the face works with. Because they're easier to talk to. And they're the ones that's going to vouch for you to the face.
100%.
You know?
100%. So that was one, and I never forgot that because it was just like, nope, you could have been more prepared there.
That was another good example of being on time or being early or extra early because let's say at this event you got there extra early. Now you had time to figure out that this is the guy I should be talking to. Only because some sequence of events happened and you just come to this realization
with the face like, oh, you must know him, let me talk to you.
Absolutely. And I also just share real quick, just because you said it that way, the person I thought I was supposed to be talking to that I wanted to talk to was a woman. Right? But this guy was the one who was like, yo, I'm the blocking and tackler, you know what I mean? But he controlled all the deal flow. But I wanted to highlight that it was a woman because sometimes we don't give our women enough credit that like, she the one with the deep pockets. You know what I'm saying?
She was the CEO.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's me.
Oh, I like that. That's fine.
Yeah. She just she really likes to highlight black female entrepreneurs. Love it. And because like you said, they just don't get a lot of exposure, they don't get a lot of recognition. And black female entrepreneurs they doing it big out here, man.
Killing the game.
They killing the game.
Killing the game.
But what else? All right, so you told us your ninja business. Now tell us something that you've suffered from. Somebody some black entrepreneur that you've had some bad business experience with, and what you learned from it. Maybe how to avoid it.
I gotta think about it, because the way my brain works is like when I run into situations like that, I am so short. Like my memory span is short on those because I'm always on to the next thing. Because I don't want to run my brain in circles, being like, man, this person did me dirty. So my memory span is short on that. You know. You
know what? I'm glad you said that because we're reading a book right now called Well Done, and I'm reading it right now.
Because we're already finished. We're on to the next one. He's
it talks about that, like it talks about not giving too much time to negative things and to give more time to the positive things. And how much of a difference you'll see.
That's literally like if I had to like maybe count like what are the top 3 or 5 things that have helped me build the level of success I have. That's one of them. Because literally like if you ask like the people closest to me, my partner actually said this to me recently. She was like, one of the things I love about you is you just never complain. And I was like, oh, that's interesting because I didn't really think about it. But that's important to me because I just don't find any value in it.
Yeah, it's not. Things aren't going to change.
Right.
And people are going to be people. And I think that's the problem that a lot of us have is not understanding that people are going to be people.
Right.
And you can't control how somebody else does something, but you can control the way you react to something.
That's it.
And that's it.
And when you take that level of extreme ownership, at that point, it's like, it's not even their fault. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And then it's like, all right, cool. Like, the first time I learned, but the second time, if I let that happen again, that's my fault.
That's on me.
That's not a boundary that I set well. You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
That's not a boundary.
So, yeah, so I don't really spend a lot of energy, reflecting on who did me wrong or this and that. It's just like, cool, I got to learn now. And I'd be able to, make better decisions and things like that.
Oh, it's crazy. All right. And you know what? So maybe you'll be able to give us some really good tips, tricks, and resources on our next segment.
Let's do that.
Because you sound like you're probably full of them.
I'm a nerd, so yeah, I got that.
I wouldn't have called you a nerd, but...
I'm a nerd. I'm unapologetic about that, man.
But I get the vibe that you've built up a number of resources over the years doing what you do, especially in a creative space like this. So let's talk about that next, y'all. Stay tuned, and we out.